Richard, not far off the Qatar Goodwood Festival, 5 days of real top-class action, something for everyone. And of course, it comes after what was a good 5 days for you at Royal Ascot, highlighted, of course, by Rosallion in the St James's Palace Stakes. We've got his trophy there just behind you.
Yes.
Looking magnificent, I must say. And before we talk about Goodwood, I mean, just reflect on his victory in the St James's Palace. It was a real popular win, wasn't it, for you and so many people as well?
One of my best days racing I can remember. You know, it was very, very special after he got beaten in the Guineas. There was no doubt, probably was the championship race of the week or the season. You know, English Guineas winner, Irish Guineas winner, French Guineas winner, throwing a few more Group 1 winners in there for the crack. And it was probably the best St James and most competitive St James Palace we'd had for years. And to win it like he did, to make up that sort of ground and come home with a trophy like that, I haven't been more than arm's reach away from it basically since. And yeah, great days racing. We were absolutely delighted, and we're going to have a big party soon for the yard and for the lads and all the hard work they put in.
I mean, he is a horse who you've always held in very high regard. You've not been afraid to say how good you think he is, and it must be great pleasure for you when he sort of answers those questions.
Yes, yeah. It's not so much, I say that a lot, because I know when a horse is the best in my yard. When you go to the races, you don't know if he's the best horse in the race. We thought he was a little bit special. He proved that last year, but not to the same degree. He was devastating at Royal Ascot, probably his best performance. Beating top class field, and he really is the horse. If you dream of having the perfect racehorse, that's pretty much him. They say horses aren't machines. Whoever said that got it wrong, because he is.
And of course, we were seeing this morning. He looks in great nick, and I assume the plan is now to go to Goodwood for the Sussex.
Yeah, pretty much from when he pulled up in the St James Palace Stakes, this was going to be the plan. And this too looks like being another very good race. It'd be tactical and where the speed's coming from, etc. But very happy with our horse, and hoping he'll win again.
And of course, that one blot on his copy was on soft ground in the Champagne Stakes. There's been a lot of rain around in the lead up to Goodwood.
Yeah, if it's soft, similar as this. If it's soft, he won't run. Simple. It's not so much he doesn't go on it. I don't want the same thing to happen. I was absolutely gutted that day, and I never want to go back there. And
of course, your father won Canford Cliffs, Tornado, and Real Buddy as well. So it's a race you've got a good record in. And I suppose now you actually can put this horse in the echelons of the Canford Cliffs and the Tornadoes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's earned that. He's a classic winner. He's a 3-time Group 1 winner so far, and he's a worthy favourite. So yeah, I haven't won it before. It'd be nice.
And it looks a proper race as well, doesn't it?
It's a very good race.
Guinea's been a notable speech. Of course, you have beaten again at Ascot. Henry Longfellow as well, who wasn't far behind you at Ascot.
I don't think Charlie's horse turned up at Ascot. He certainly turned up at the Guineas. So it will be another tight, competitive race. Hopefully we'd like to think we have his number, but there was nothing lucky about the way he won the Guineas, and he kind of beat us fair and square that day. So I'm hopeful that we've got the best horse, and he's in great form. He has continued to improve since Royal Ascot, which we won't find out until about a furlong and a half out at Goodwood.
If we look further down the line, obviously as the season becomes to draw to a climax, the ground tends to get softer, obviously because we're approaching winter time. What have you got in the back of your mind as a possible target after Goodwood, if indeed he does run again?
I've discussed this with Sheikh Mohammed Abeid, and there's a chance we might put him away after the Sussex, depending on how that goes and where the ground is. There's obviously all the usual options. I know he's not very keen for the Breeders' Cup this year, and the horse has done the talking for us. And I think the best thing, the most sensible thing to say is that we'll take a rain check, so to speak, after Goodwood.
And keeping sort of touching wood, you've got him in training as a 4-year-old as well, so at least you're not in any rush to
that's up to Sheikh Mohammed Abeid, and it's his horse, and if he's happy to continue enjoying him like we are, we'd be absolutely delighted.
And it's all well and good having a yard full of 200 horses, but you do need these
Jewels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do need these sort of horses to.
They're gems, and they are very, very rare. It doesn't matter how many horses you have. Getting hold of these sort of horses is extremely difficult and extremely rare. And we're lucky enough to have one, and he kind of carries the whole place, you know, through the year. And you know, a lot of people want to come down and see him and see him out exercising, and it's a real buzz around the place. And when you've had that, which we have, the likes of Camford Cliffs, and then you don't have it for a few years, and you have it again, you really do enjoy it and appreciate it. I'm not sure I enjoyed it. Sorry, not sure I appreciated it as much as I did when I was training in the early years, of exactly what these horses, you know, mean to you and what they can bring the whole place as a, you know, as an asset. We're not letting it pass us by this time, that's for sure.
And obviously work riders, they're an important factor of it. We've seen Timmy Murphy, of course, of Grand National winning jockey. How important is it that Timmy teams up with his horse every morning?
Oh yeah, you know, he's been instrumental in the whole preparation of this horse, as in Sean Fox and Liam Canary with Haatem, and he gets on with him every day and doesn't want to know how good he is. You know, he kind of just does his thing and really gets him relaxed, because he can be quite keen, and Timmy's a perfect man to do that. I asked him where he was going to watch the Guineas. He said, I'm not going to watch it, Richard. I said, what do you mean you're not going to watch it? He said, I already know the result. He was wrong on this day, right, as we were second, but I did quite admire his answer. That's something stupid that I would say, you know, but I did enjoy that.
Has he not tried to convince you to put him over 8 flies or hurdles?
No, he'll probably do that one day when I'm not here knowing him. I think he's past, leaving the ground on them now, I think, is behind him.
Yeah, okay. A horse that we also saw today, Haatem, and he's just been such a star. You know, he's around 6-1 to win the Sussex Stakes. You've got him engaged in that. You've got him in a few races as well later on the season. Impressive winner of the Jersey, backing trip over 7. Yeah. What's the likely plan for him?
Well, he's in the Lennox, he's in the Sussex. He's also in the Jacques Le Marois, which we might take on. And the Sussex is there. It's really up to Al Wathnan. You know, it won't change the horse's programme in terms of what he does here, so I'm very happy to be told, and if I'm asked my opinion, which, yeah, they're very good, they always do. I think I'd make a decision nearer the time. You know, it all depends what the ground's going to be like at Goodwood, and you know, he's very, what's the word, manoeuvrable in terms of trip, tactics, track, the whole lot. I mean, he's a dreamboat. You can pretty much just set the controls and off you go. And
obviously you said there he's quite versatile on any track. He has actually won at Goodwood in the Vintage, so at least you know he'll handle the undulations of that course.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that's on the round course as well. So's the Lennox, so's the Sussex. So we know he's got the skill set to go around there.
Has it surprised you a little bit as to how much he sort of, obviously he was a good two-year-old, but he's trained on and he's maintained that high level of form?
I was shocked when it came to the when he won the Craven the way he did. And then he ran his heart out in the English Guineas, then the Irish Guineas. And he really deserved his, you know, all the credit he got when he won the Jersey. You know, he has a massive following. Never known a horse that gets the public's support and little messages that come into the Instagram and whatever. There's a lot of love out there for him, and it's lovely to see.
And he looks the best of a ride. I mean,
he's a gentleman.
Even Liam can ride him every
You
day.
could ride him.
Yeah, yeah.
I could.
Yeah.
I won't. But you know, he's kind of like an ambulance. He just gets everyone from A to B. No problem, no hassle. Gentleman he is.
And you mentioned any trip sort of comes as the same to him. I know it's an early closing race, but you have got him in the Juddmonte International. Is that something you might consider?
Yeah. You know, he gives himself every chance, Brett, of getting a mile and a quarter because he's so relaxed. You know, it's something I would love to try with him one day, but see what next year holds and what he does for the rest of this year. We've obviously got used to be the QE2 on Champions Day, loads of lovely options for him.
We saw Persica win impressively at Sandown on Eclipse Day. Got put up £10 for that victory up to 110, which I suppose now rules out handicaps.
Handicaps out, yeah. But we always thought he was a very good horse, and our hand is forced now towards group races. It wouldn't surprise me. This might be a very brave or stupid thing to say, but wouldn't surprise me if you saw him turn up at some stage in a race like a Champion Stakes. You know, he seems to go very well on soft ground. He's a little bit fragile mentally, and he has grown up a lot this year. You know, he used to sweat a lot, and if you notice, we have a red hood on him, which means we take it off before the race, and that kind of gives him almost like a comfort blanket. But he is growing up, he's improving, and he could end up anywhere, I feel.
Was it just the trip that got him beat at Ascot?
Yeah, he never really got in the race either. You know, he enjoys a strong pace. He'll get a mile and a half, no problem. But I think a mile and a quarter is where it would be at the moment.
Okay, let's just stick with the 3-year-olds. The Coffee Pod who won at
Yes.
York at the weekend.
So, unfortunately, for the Unibet members, he's an impossible horse to pick. I fancied him a few times. And then mine were running a bit tricky 2 weeks ago, and whenever he won. And I couldn't really see him winning, but he did win, and he won well. When he relaxes and gives himself a chance to finish a race, he's a pretty good horse, and he's taken his time to win. But it wouldn't surprise me if he got a little sequence going and won a couple.
Well, he's in the Stewards Cup. There's also a 5 furlong 3-year-old handicap as well. Are you looking at the Stewards Cup, or are you looking at the 3-year-old only race?
I think we'll go 3-year-old only for the moment, and I don't think he will get in the Stewards Cup. A lot of prize money on offer. A lot of people turn up, and I'd say he won't get in. So our hand will be forced.
Richard, 4 horses currently entered in the Golden Mile. Talis Evova, Local Hero, Classic, and Takari Bay. The shortest of those in the betting are Local Hero and Classic, both at 25-1 with Unibet. Are they likely to go for that?
I think they will. Local Hero, obviously, I took him out last weekend because of the ground. I don't want to get it wrong again with him. We've always thought he's a very decent horse, and he's yet to show that on turf. Now, his 2 wins have come on the all-weather. If he transfers it to turf, he's going to win a lot of nice races. And, he's a lot of ability. Classic, one of these big races is going to come his way. 25-1, I would call that an investment, because he can run to £20 above what he's rated. He can run £40 below as well. But he's a very, very talented horse, and can't help feeling his penultimate run at Sandown, he looked a very, very unlucky loser, and if he runs like that again, he'll take a lot of beating. He didn't like the soft ground on his last run at Sandown. Can't go on that. Dobbs, you just said he just wheel spins. He tries hard enough, but he just wheel spins on that ground. Classic
off 92. Highest rated of those is Talis Evova off 99.
Yeah, so Talis has had a hard time a bit lately. We probably will give him a break, unless he screams that he wants to run. He'll probably have a nice break, and we'll bring him back towards the end of the year, and an all-weather campaign. He won the all-weather championship, so he'll be leaning towards that. He loves it. He's been a star all year, and it owes us absolutely nothing. So unless he's jumping out of his skin, we'll give him a break.
There could be a decent one to be won with Takari Bay. He's always sort of threatened to be pretty smart.
When he wins and looks good, he's 110, 112 horse. But we haven't seen that for a while. But he keeps edging down the handicap, and he's going to come good sooner or later. He's a very talented horse, and it's just getting him right. But he's a hard horse to pick. He always works very well at home, but you don't really know what's going to happen at the races until he's either sat cantering like that, and today's a day, or he never gets involved at all.
Okay, let's look at the Stewards Cup. We've touched on the fact that the Coffee Pod probably isn't likely to get in anyway. Top rated of your entrants are Bosch and Dark 30, both of 95. Again, real consistent animals, both of them.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do you think they'll get in? There's a lot of horses in there about that mark. Bosch has run well all season, and he's a good horse. He was very unlucky at Chester last time, coming off a bend. I'd love to run him in that race if he got in, and Dark 30 can win any race on his day. You've seen him to a devastating effect at Newmarket.
What do you think his best trip is?
I think 6, when he hits a gate and just goes. Yeah. But if there's any give in the ground, his form is probably £10 below what it can be. If it's fast ground, he'll have every chance.
Mums Tipple's rated £1 lower off 94.
He'll
pop up one day.
He got upset in the gates last time. I moved him down to the other yard to give him a change of scenery. It's a while since we've seen him to his best, and I'm hoping that will rejuvenate him like it should have been a ring. You know, he went down there when he ran moderately. The time before he went to Deauville and won the Group 3.
And a Ram, the last of the entries.
Ram, yeah. I took him out last time because of the ground. Horse with a lot of ability. I was a bit disappointed his last run, but the form of all his runs have turned out very, very good. And he's a fine big horse with a lot of speed and a horse we like. I'm hoping he'll run very well on fast ground. It has to be fast ground.
Midland Park always do well with their 2-year-olds, their older horses and so forth. They've got a real nice 2-year-old in an Outlaws Grace, who I thought was a little bit unlucky in the Prix Robert Papin at the weekend. The Richmond or the Molecombe for him, possibly?
I think it'll be the Richmond or the Vintage. I've always thought he looks like a horse that wants 7. I think he'll get 7. He probably wasn't experienced enough in the Papin and wandered around a bit, and I think he wants 7, but we'll have a look at both races. He's a very, very good horse, and hopefully he'll show that before the end of the year. And, you know, he's got the make and build of a good horse, and he works like one, and hopefully he'll finish the season like one.
I mean, he was impressive in his debut at Salisbury, and you could have perhaps just gone along with an easier route for him.
Yeah, we could have gone to another novice, but I just don't know what you achieve by doing that. Quite often £7 is enough to get them beaten. And if you do win, you don't really achieve a lot. I don't feel. I think if they're good enough, I'd rather have a go at something worth winning.
I mean, how good do you think he could be? I know you've got him entered all the big
I think he's a group horse, no question,
yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
He's also in Harry's $500,000 and a sales race in Ireland, and we could very easily go there. York, that's worth a lot of money, and at York, 6.5 furlongs is perfect. It's like the race was written for him. So that is a target.
We saw Xanthe this morning, who went on debut at Ascot, then ran a cracker in the Queen Mary. She looks a sort of a proper Goodwood type. She's not very big, but had a help right around there.
Fast little filly, like a little skateboard. I was very pleased with her running the Queen Mary, and she'll go either to the Molecombe or to the Alice Keppel, which is the 5 furlong fillies only conditions race, worth a lot of money.
Hawaiian, what's the plan with him?
Hawaiian, we'll have a look at the Molecombe. He actually ran with credit at Royal Ascot. We haven't run him since, so we'll probably go straight to the Molecombe.
Angel Hunter's had 2 runs for you. Carries, of course, the same silks of Witch Hunter. Both runs with credit. Third time lucky for him at Goodwood? Yeah.
I was thinking of maybe giving him another one and then putting him in the 7 furlong nursery, but I think if we go anywhere, it'll probably be to the maiden. He's the sort of horse, he'll get better as the year goes on. Nice, classy colt with a big future.
Now, of course, it's the Qatar Goodwood Festival, so you always need to try. The pressure's on to get winners for Al Shakab.
Yeah.
2 entrants at the week. Tawash, who was 4th at Haydock on his debut, and also Wheels of Fire, sort of Memas.
Yeah, both of those will have big chances. I think there's a 6 furlong and a 7 furlong maiden, and they'll probably run in different ones. Both of them very, very pleased with their first run. Mine always improved massively for their first run, and with that in mind, these maidens are worth a lot of money down there, so they'll be very competitive. But these are 2 that go there with a great chance, and these races have been put aside for them, from a while back. So they have been sort of pinpointed from a long way out.
Sticking with the 2 roads, Our Terms I thought was quite eye-catching at Newmarket on debut. Out of course, Best Terms, who won the Queen Mary. Yeah,
I think he could be a good horse. He came there lovely, travelled great. Just got carried out away from the main race that was happening up the Standside rail. That didn't help him too much. I'm not sure he'd have beaten the winner on that day anyway, but delighted with that as a first run, and he would have an excellent chance at Goodwood if we go.
Any 2-year-olds that we haven't seen yet who are likely to be making
a lovely horse called Eupator, Eupator. He's by Persian King. He's starting to show up very well. Another one by Night of Thunder that belongs to Mr. Galadari. I'm not sure what he's called, but he's by Night of Thunder. He's worth waiting on. You won't see him till the back end, but there's a lot still to run. A lot of mine have wanted 7 furlongs, maybe even a mile. So they'll come along nicely, don't worry.